Hello and welcome to Cricbuzz Live, IPL auction special. I'm Gaurav Kapur, with me Joy Bhattacharya and Harsha Bhogle joining us from Perth. We better get this wrapped quick because he'll have to head to the stadium soon for start of day's play.
Yeah, but I think we're lucky because after what happened with Venkatesh Iyer, he couldn't go back to sleep. He was like jerked awake. You know?
I think a lot of people were, right? A lot of people were. I'm sure Venki Iyer himself must be, but good for him. Obviously, he's been the biggest news of the last couple of hours. I think that's when we came, I think 5 or 6 sets have happened in the middle of that. But Harsha, safe to say that Venkatesh Iyer has been the headline news of the last couple of hours.
The message going out to everybody who wants to become a chartered accountant or an MBA in finance, don't waste your time, go and play cricket.
Unbelievable.
It's basically what we thought as kids was absolutely correct. For him.
पढ़ाई
मत करो यार, cricket खेलो.
Little bit with बोलो.
I said पढ़ाई मत करो, cricket खेलो. What we thought as kids is actually the best. That's why, you know, बच्चे मन के सच्चे. You should follow your heart.
क्या था वो पुराने जमाने में गौरव, when you were a kid, लिखोगे, पढ़ोगे, बनोगे नवाब, खेलोगे, कूदोगे, बनोगे खराब.
Yeah, it's ulta now. It's the opposite. It's switch, like the Akshay Kumar meme. But yeah, what did you make of that? There was fervent bidding between Bangalore and Kolkata, and these two teams seem to have a lot of "ye dosti hum nahi todenge" moments in the auction. Over the years, one takes the other's bowlers, one takes the other's batters, one takes the other's lower score. They keep doing stuff like that. And today they were going fervently for Venkatesh Iyer, and maybe a few bids, places where their fans were like, one second, hang on, we are not completely understanding the desperation, with no disrespect to the youngster.
They had 51 crores left, KKR, when they started bidding for Venkatesh Iyer.
Exactly.
When they finished, they had 23.75 gone out of that, and they had 7 players. So I'm sure all the KKR fans were thinking, oh, is there another mid-stock happening? And then they did something very interesting. They went after Quinton de Kock along with Mumbai Indians. And I think in doing so, they cleared the pitch for both of them, both for Mumbai and for themselves, because they wanted Phil Salt. And they went up to 10 crores, I think, or thereabouts for Phil Salt, which left them with a little bit of loose change. Luckily, they lost him. So they were able to go back to Cricbuzz. But I just wondered, if they were going so heavy for Phil Salt, why would you spend 3.6 on Quinton de Kock? Or did they think, oops, I don't know if we'll get Salt, so we'll keep de Kock. But as it turned out, the 3.6 that they spent on de Kock, they might have got Salt back.
So here's the thing, right? Here's the confusion, and is why we're talking about Venkatesh Iyer again. You know me, I'm the biggest cheerleader of players getting more and more money. But at the end of the day, for the team, as Harsha just put it, out of 50, when you give half of that to one player and you still have another 10, 12 players to buy, I guess that's where the confusion comes in. But great for Venkatesh Iyer, and great that the loyalty in a way has been rewarded so fabulously.
Yeah, true. I think what they're trying to do is actually literally almost get their 11 back that won the final.
Yeah.
And if you look at it, they've got about 8 players back. And if you look at a like-for-like replacement, they've got Nokia now who comes in, say, for, if you look at it, a Stark for Nokia. Okay, you have a Cricbuzz who anyway played, because if you remember, Phil Salt left, he had to leave early. I'm not sure where de Kock fits in, but the rest all are part of that team. So you're saying 9 of those 11 places you're filling. I get in another good Indian batter to come in for Shreyas Iyer. And that's, I think, the way they're looking at it, that stay as close to that team as possible. But I think, as I said, after about 12 to 15, I'd say about 15 crores onwards, I thought the bidding was, it just reached a stage where I don't know why the teams didn't look at it and said, you know what, look at it and say that is today, and I'm in the cold light of day, and Venkatesh Iyer is a very fine player. Would you consider him among the top 20 T20 players of the country? I would say, if you're even thinking about that answer, I'm not saying he is or he isn't, but even if you have 10% doubt on the answer of which way it falls, I think then 15 crores and above is a bit much. That's the way I'm looking.
Other big news.
You know what?
Yes, Harsha.
I was just thinking, GK, when KKR announced their retentions, I wonder if Rinku Singh called up Venkatesh Iyer and said, Venki भैया माफ करना वो नहीं हुआ उम्मीद है कि ऑक्शन के बाद हम हमारे यहाँ आप वापस आएंगे इसे ना आ गया हमें 10 करोड़ ज्यादा लेके
So now, of course, the other big news that has happened for you Mumbai fans, they finally bought a player. Well, yeah, that's it, in the auction. So they've had their first buy again. The fact that they have gone in with very little money, right? They went in with, I think, 42 plus 45 odd is what they went in with. And they've got Trent Bolt. So now they've got Trent Bolt and Jasprit Bumrah. They like Trent Bolt. He's done well for them before. And again, it's a really good new ball attack because you've got three with solid pace and skill coming at you. Because Hardik as well has been bowling for India and bowling for Mumbai in the power play. So he's good. Hit the deck new ball. Trent Bolt can get your swing. And Bumrah is, well, Bumrah.
Yeah, see, they actually went for all the players that if you think they went for, they've gone for before. Jofra Archer, they went for Jofra Archer, they had to walk away at a particular price.
Yeah.
They went for Khalil Ahmed again, because Khalil Ahmed from Zach's time, Zach is also a huge fan of his and,
mentored him quite a bit.
Yeah. So I think that's what Mumbai did. They were going with the tried and tested bowlers. Bowlers they know do well in monkey day conditions.
Rahul Chahar.
Yeah, they will come and perform immediately. And I think that's what Mumbai is looking at. They've stayed quiet, but they've also not done anything. You'd say, okay, just let's look at it this way. If they paid, say, 2.5-3 crores extra for Trent Bolt,
yeah,
you look at what KKR has paid or the others have paid, people have played 7-8 crores, perhaps more than anticipated for other players. So,
yeah.
In the light of day, that was a reasonable decision. Also, remember, Trent Bolt plays for them in every format, in every league.
Yeah.
He plays for them in, I think, in the American League. He plays for them in the ILT20. So he plays for them everywhere.
Yeah, Harsha, I feel like Trent Bolt now has a Reliance ID card.
Some point we all will. But the question with Trent Bolt is, I'm at home on JioFiber. The question with Trent Bolt is, does he still have the zip that made him one of the best, if not the best power play bowler in the world? If he still has that zip, if he's going to give you 3 overs consistently in the power play, 10 matches out of 14, then even at this price, it's a very good buy, because what it does is it liberates Bumrah to bowl 1 in the middle, 2 at the back. That is why they like a left-arm power play bowler. So if Trent Bolt is still as good as he was, and he was pretty good with the Royals, then even if it's a couple of crores more, it's still a decent buy, as I said, if he's got that zip.
Well, let's talk about Hyderabad, because they had the other big news. The former Mumbai player, Ishan Kishan, who they picked up for 11 crores. 11.25, I think they picked him up for. And now look at that batting lineup. As if that batting lineup didn't have enough firepower. Let's just add another missile.
Yeah, look at that. You just look at it. They've almost gotten 11 out there. And the interesting thing is, where does Ishan Kishan bat? Because with Head and Abhishek Sharma doing as well as they did last year, you are not going to open with him. You're going to open with them. So Ishan Kishan then has to slot in at 3, then Klaasen comes in at 4. That's looking, I think, a couple of players, and they're looking a very set first 11 is almost already there.
Yeah.
That bowling attack is, and if Shami, they can nurse Shami and keep his health, that's a very deadly bowling attack. Very, very good bowling attack.
क्या बोलते हैं हर्षा भाई? चाय चांद बिस्कुट?
The first thing that strikes you. नहीं बड़े भाई, मैं पहले देख रहा हूँ, मैं जो है पूरे टोंटे से बैटिंग को. पूरे टोंटे है.
What's
lefty है पूरे.
You have to translate that.
Lefty है पूरे.
Oh, lefty.
सब खब्बू है.
खब्बे. खब्बे.
पूरे लेफ्टी आए छे ऊपर.
Yeah.
मैं वही देख रहा हूँ, राइटिंग आउट ऑफ फैशन है क्या है की. But they've got Shami, they've got Harshal, and then they've gone with 2 leggies, Rahul Chahar and Adam Zampa. I found the Zampa one a little interesting, because they already had Rahul Chahar, because they've got Klaasen, they've got Head, they've got Cummins, and now Zampa becomes the 4th overseas player. At some point, they're going to get another overseas player midway in there. So Zampa's inclusion might be a bit tricky. I think they've still got some buying to do, but as Joy said, there's the top 5 already there, because Nitish Reddy can bat at number 5 over there. He can drop into 6 if required. He can bat at 5 too. So I think they've got their top 5. If everyone is fit, they've got Shami, Harshal, and one of the spinners. So I think they've got 8 players set over there. I think they tried to buy back Natarajan. But the other story, we talked about Venkatesh Iyer. The other story is that the fast bowlers went for about 100 crores.
Yep.
If you look at all the fast bowlers, just Khalil went for under 5 crores, but all the fast bowlers went for big money. And Natarajan, and God bless him, he's going to have another academy in near Salem.
Good for him. Absolutely.
Yeah, good for him. Why not? Another big piece of news that happened right towards the end of all these sets that just finished was Noor Ahmad. Now, we all know Noor Ahmad's story where he was spotted by Ashish Kapoor when Ashish Kapoor was working with the India junior team, and he saw Noor bowling and wanted Noor to get picked up by some team. In fact, Ashish had once told me that he was, before every auction, sending messages to his buddies, and before he was with GT, sending messages to his buddies and other teams saying, this young kid, I've seen him. And then when he got a chance, GT picked him up. He's done so well. He was picked up for 20 lakhs, I think.
Yeah.
And now, the final bidding, the bidding for him, CSK goes to 5 crores, no other bids. Right to match card used by GT. They obviously want him back. And then Chennai, who's given the option to up the bid one final time, jumps it from 5 crores to 10 crores. I did not see that coming at all. They wanted him bad and they got him.
Absolutely. And in fact, that's what, the moment that happened, the one thing that struck me was saying, guys, you controlled your feelings throughout the bidding admirably, because you couldn't make out from their faces that they wanted him 10 crores worth.
Yeah.
But when Sundar, I think, put up one hand 5, and then he didn't figure out what was happening. I think the auctioneer couldn't see what was happening. And then Fleming goes with 2 hands, 5 and 5, 10, and everyone's saying, what? Yeah. 10 crores. And it was amazing. But it's interesting, the fact that on that surface...
What does it tell you, Joy? Yeah, what does it tell you about 7 matches that are going to be played in Chennai? If you've got Jadeja, Ashwin, Noor, and Rachin Ravindra on your side, what is it telling you about the pitches? I think as soon as you enter Chennai, you just start spinning all your way out of the airport terminal into the car. You keep spinning in your place all along till you get to the ground.
Oh, it just tells you that if you're a visiting team, your fast bowlers don't even get a boarding pass to get on the flight to Chennai. Because why are you wasting airfare? There's nothing for you to do at the Chepauk. So yeah, those spin options. And then, of course, while we're there and we took his name, I think Ashwin in yellow just makes sense.
Oh, it's just such a lovely feeling.
Yeah.
Just such a lovely feeling. He goes back. Hopefully, the CSK Academy, he does a lot of work with. I think he's had a fantastic career that started out there. I remember that first 2010 season where till 9 he was there, but 10 is when he really burst onto the scene. And then everything that's happened since. And 14 years later, he's returning to that, for at least hopefully the next 2 to 3 years. It's fantastic. I think it's sometimes you feel good about players returning to home bases. This is one of them.
Harsha?
This is one of them. Yeah, I know. I remember in one of the early CSK wins, after a post-match, MS Dhoni was around and slightly talkative. As you know, no one knows him very well. I don't either. But he was just coming up and he said, "Dekho, ye bhajji ki jagah le lega ye ladka." And Ashwin talks very fondly about playing for CSK. There's 2 people who said they wanted to play for CSK. One was Ashwin and one was DK. DK is sitting on the RCB table and has never played for CSK, and he won't now. But I think this is one of the feel-good stories. If Ashwin really wanted to go back to CSK, this is one of the feel-good stories. The other stories, I heard you were talking a little bit about SRH. Do you remember 4-5 years ago, SRH's opening batting? David Warner and Johnny Bairstow.
Yep.
Right? They were hitting 200 runs. They were putting on 100 in no time. This year, David Bairstow unsold, Johnny Bairstow unsold. That's the way it crumbles sometimes.
Yep, that's right. You just said David Bairstow.
Yeah,
his father, right?
It's almost, yeah.
Johnny.
That's Johnny's father,
Bairstow,
isn't it? Johnny Bairstow and David Warner.
I've got his tie.
Yeah, so David Warner and Johnny Bairstow both. Yeah, but that's the way the cookie crumbles with the individual players. But you can see that Hyderabad stuck with the same formula, because now the firepower that they have in their top 5, Travis Head, Abhishek Sharma, Ishan Kishan, Heinrich Klaasen, Nitish Reddy. Come on. Are you kidding? It's like rocket after rocket being fired.
Yeah, also what's happening is now because of this impact player, they are not so bothered about that 6 or 7, the all-rounder that they need. And anyway, they've got a good all-rounder, Nitish. Abhishek also gives them some bowling. Travis also can give them bowling. So they are not so bothered. So now what they're doing is that top order firepower is huge. And what Harsha has been saying from the first, that good fast bowlers. So top order bowlers, opening bowlers, ending bowlers and top order batters are where everyone is putting money right now.
Yeah, and they have. The other thing, just staying on Chennai because
we've noticed. Yeah, go on.
Sorry, Harsha, you were saying?
There's one other trend we've noticed, and that is something that SRH pioneered last year along with KKR, and that is they went at over 11 in the power play. They were scoring at greater than 11 right through the season in the power play, and the power play strike rates have gone up 21% in the last 2 years. And teams are now saying, max the power play, you've got a good chance of winning. So SRH's strategy here is what they did last year, max the power play. Pack your side with hitters, max the power play and tell everyone, come and catch us.
Just bat the other team out of the game.
The first 6 itself, yeah.
And the other thing that happened to Chennai is the two players, they're very fond of Devon Conway and Rachin Ravindra, and they've got them back at a good price as well. We know that Chennai has this thing they do at every auction, which is trying to retain as much of the core, as much of the 11. I mean, the other teams are doing it now, but they've done it pretty much from the first big auction, and they are working in that direction. And these two are a big step in that direction.
Absolutely. And the prices at which they got that allowed them to open the purses for Ashwin and Noor.
Yeah.
So because they got them at 3.5 crores, 4.5 crores. So just quietly they picked up those two players, and that just allowed them, that freed them because their purse, they had that much purse left to say that, okay, let's get these. We've got the need to have, we've got them in, but now we get Noor in, and on days where we are playing on home conditions, we are going to unleash spin hell on the opposition.
Yeah, they've got both of them for 10.25 crores. It probably would have cost them more to retain them. So things are working in their favor. But things always seem to work in their favor in this auction. With RCB, what is RCB been up to? Because their fans, very vocal fans as well. They've had some good buys there. You gotta say they've had some good buys. Phil Salt at the top with Virat Kohli. That's a juicy combination right up. So this is what their top 5 potentially could look like right now, Harsha. You got Phil Salt and Virat Kohli opening. Then you get Rajat Patidar. You get Liam Livingston. And you get Jitesh Sharma.
Yeah,
Jitesh Sharma going to play as a batter in that team because they have spent 11.5 and 12 to 22.5 crores on 2 wicket keepers. I know they play at different ends. So one of them will play as a batter unless they find some more batters in the upcoming list. But otherwise, Salt and Jitesh, I found that just a little unusual how high they went for Jitesh. They went 11 crores for him, having already gone 11.5 for Salt. So clearly they see one of them playing being good enough to play as a specialist batter. But they still need a lot more bowling. They've only got one bowler now, Hazelwood. They've got Dayal retained and a bit of Livingston.
Yeah, look, I think absolutely. But they are looking, the only difference between Salt and Jitesh that they have, the advantage that they have is Jitesh is one of the few wicketkeeper bats who bats at 6, who can bat. He's a finisher. So I think really, yes, they're looking at a batter opener, batter finisher. Both are keepers, just gives them a bit more flexibility. If you remember at one time, you see SRH's team last year was just full of keepers. So I think they're just looking at it that way. Yeah. Who wants to wear the gloves today?
Yeah, just somebody come pick. Delhi's got a lot of keepers as well. Yeah. Okay, a little summary of what has happened so far and who's got how much money left, what action will we see. The way some of these teams are spending money, you'd think that they think their purse is like 200 crores, but it's not. So a lot of them are down in the teens now. You have Hyderabad that's just at 10 crores. So they've kind of spent their money quite quick. You have a decent purse right now. So you can see what maybe, we know what Bangalore's been doing. They've been doing that for a long time. They're trying to keep that money there to get some value buys going in. But you also see what Mumbai has done. While everybody's exhausted their purse, they've only bought one player. So that means that, and remember they also have one right to match available for an uncapped player. There were a couple of decent uncapped players for them last time.
Yeah, there's Anshul Kamboj.
Akash Madwal, Nehal Vadera.
Those 3, Arjun Tendulkar. So
does Piyush Chawla qualify?
Mandhir.
No.
Piyush Chawla qualifies as uncapped.
Naman Dheer does. He hasn't played for 5 years. Naman Dheer. Yeah.
Naman Dheer does. So they've got some. So they're going to use that quite interestingly as well. And that's going to be used much later. I think might just come into play tomorrow. So interesting things will happen now as well. So, few other sets that will be played out right now, and then when those get done, I think probably end of day's play is when we'll come back here and discuss what has happened on day one of this mega auction. Big thank you to Harsha Bhogle and Joy Bhattacharya. I'm Gaurav Kapur. You were watching Cricbuzz Live IPL auction special. That's all the words, right? That's all of them? All right. Now, should I say nicer words, better words? Dinner is served. Let's go eat. What else we here for? Bye.